Hello, welcome to another video. This one, as promised, is a showcase video on my 20mm Argentine Forces for the Falklands. What I wanted to do when I initially kicked off with it, I wanted to do sufficient figures for a small engagement for both sides. There's an engagement that took place at Top Mallow House involving the Royal Marines Mountain and Arctic Warfare Carter and Argentine Commando 602. Less than 20 figures each per side, so that's where I initially went. So the start of my Argentine forces were sufficient troops to do that scenario. I did have some of the very old Hotspur miniatures 20mm figures, which are going back to, I would guess, the mid-80s. They came out not long after the war ended. Really nice castings by a guy called Dave Alsop, who went subsequently did some work for Old Glory in the States, but unfortunately was killed in an accident. So that's where my Argentine forces started. Progressing from there, I wanted a sort of a generic-ish Argentine infantry platoon, and for that I've used Liberation miniatures by RH Models. Also mixed in are some Elheim miniatures figures. So what we'll do now is we'll go down to the turntable and I'll describe what figures are what and what the sketch is with those. Okay, so we'll go down to the turntable now. Right, folks, so this is my Argentinian infantry platoon. I've based them on the 7th Mechanised Infantry Regiment, RIM 7, who were the folks defending Mount Longdon when they were attacked by 3 para. I've went for a fairly basic generic organisation for the platoon, so there's a 3-man platoon HQ. I've done 3 squads of 10 figures. The squads are subdivided into 2 fire teams of 5. All of the troops are obviously armed with the FN FAL rifle. In one of the fire teams of each squad, one of the guys has got the FN FAL heavy barrel, which is the Argentinians used it basically as a squad automatic weapon, similar in rule to the bar in World War II US Army organisation. I had to do a little bit of conversion to get that, but I'll explain that on the video that's coming up next on the squad. Dress-wise, they're obviously basically in green. There's been quite a lot of sort of confusion about helmet covers. There's obviously some were plain green, some were camouflaged, normally US woodland pattern. My researchers told us that their RIM 7 on Longdon had plain green helmet covers, which is why these guys are like that. I've also included a couple of figures with the with Argentine field cap, the pale-lined field cap, just for variety. These are all Liberation miniatures by RH Models. Right, this is the platoon headquarters, officer, NCO, radio operator. They are individually based, but in this shot, I've put them onto a small movement tray that I got knocked up from war bases, just so that the platoon headquarters together. But obviously, they are removable. Right, so this is an example of one of the squad fire teams with the FN FAL heavy barrel, scratch built, added to the figure. plastic card, a little bit of brass rod, and it's obviously the guy with the where the bipods are down. Right, second fire team from the first squad, an NCO. You can see this figure has one of the field caps that I mentioned on rather than a helmet. All of them armed with FN-FAL rifles, light equipment order. Some of the figures he's sculpted in parkas, so they've obviously got hoods on. Right, two light machine gun teams from the support section, armed with the FN mag. A little bit of work on the bases. You can't quite see, but there's some spent shell cases that I've added. Nice figures to paint up. I have obviously two teams. Right, and here we've got two medium machine gun teams. Obviously got three guys on the base. FN mag tripod mounted. I've also added additional ammunition boxes, spent shell cases to just busy the scene up a little bit. Right, two 50 caliber heavy machine gun teams. You'll notice that these guys have got camouflage helmet covers on. That's because the heavy machine gun teams on Longdon were attached from the Argentine Marines, and they had camouflage helmet covers, which is why they're slightly different. Few rocks added to the scene to sort of denote a bit of a Sanger position. Right, some more support elements. These are a couple of Super Bazooka teams. Right, a few little odds and sods here. Obviously, centre guy's got a blowpipe surface to air missile system and two spare radio operators. Antenna are just added from bent brass rod. Right, this is an Argentine Cobra team which were deployed on Longdon. The Cobra's a anti-tank guided weapon system. It's quite similar-ish to the Saga, the Soviet Saga. The control and the missile are from under fire miniatures from the Syrian range. The guy himself's Liberation. Right, another Longdon specific team. This is a racet radar and operator. The as I've said, deployed on Longdon by the Argentinians. The radar and the control are scratch built. The figures again Liberation. Right, 81mm Mortar team. These figures are Elheim from the Cold War range, obviously painted and altered slightly into Argentinians. I think added hoods, and that was really about it. Some scatter, additional mortar bombs just to have next to the base. Right, this one's a big boy, 120mm mortar. Mortar and figures are Elheim. The mortar needed a little bit of conversion, mainly to the base plate. I've got a full update on that on my blog. The link will be in the description. But obviously, 5 figures. These are really nice. I like the way they're obviously covering the ears prior to the round being dropped down the barrel. Right, this is a 105 recoilless rifle. That was made itself known on London. It's actually a conversion from an under fire miniatures British Wombat. The crew are Liberation, and all the bits and pieces, the rounds, the shell cases, boxes, they're just scratch built. Right, this bad boy's Goose Green related rather than Longdon. It's an Oregon twin 35mm anti-aircraft system, and these were used in the ground role at Goose Green. It's a Butler's 3D printed model. I'd never done one before. And the print lines I had to try my best to disguise. Obviously replace the barrels. It's okay. Ideally, I'd have liked an injection molded one, but you get what you're given, really. Right, Argentine Commando 602 for the Top Muller House scenario. Old Hotspur castings, really nice. Wide variety of uniforms, and the Falklands buffs amongst you will recognise that a lot of the figures were taken from some quite famous photographs, really. Lovely figures to paint. Right, so that's where we are with the Argentine forces at the moment. Obviously, if you have any questions at all about the figures or how I've done them or the organisation, just ask a question on the video, and I'll do me best to answer them. If you've enjoyed the video, please like it. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe. Gives me encouragement to produce more videos, and obviously also you get advance warning of when my videos are released. You can do that either from the main channel page, or alternatively, if you were at the end of the video, there's a button which is normally described as an Empress modern 20mm British infantryman in the bottom right hand corner, as I've said at the end of the video. So please think about that. Next up, I'm going to do a showcase video on me, obviously on my 20mm British forces, and we'll go for them. So thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.